Hello, moms and dads. This is Carla from Fun Schooling, the Sensational Six, and I am coming to you with another video on Evernote. A lot of people call me an Evernote evangelist because I sing the praises of Evernote. But I tell you what, it has been a godsend for me and for my family. So I wanted to share with you guys, today is December 31st, 2015. And even though, 6 months from now this video may seem old, it will still be very, very helpful to you. What I wanted to do was come and show you, after a year of using Evernote as child-led learners or unschoolers, whatever you want to call it, um, exactly how Evernote has been a blessing to our family and how we have been able to track our learning all of this time. I started, I believe, early February, so it's not quite 12 months, but 11 months. And I am going to show you exactly how my children have done this year. And so people usually do, how did we do in 2015, or, do a review. Well, this is a child-led learning review. I wanted to show you how exactly we track our children's learning. And I do have another Evernote video that shows you exactly how we post each of their learning experiences every single day per child. But today, this video is going to show you what an actual, what a particular child's entire year looked like in a particular subject, so that you can kind of see what I've been talking about. That at the end of the year, you literally have a pictorial yearbook of everything that that child has done on that topic that year. And you also get to see two things. One, how well they've done in a lot of areas. And number two, if there are some other areas that you need to focus on that they haven't done a lot. So, or not necessarily focus, or provide opportunities for learning and activities that would help them in that particular area. So let's go ahead and get started. You should have a look at my home screen here. I'm going to do a very quick review because I think it's necessary. But Evernote is an amazing, amazing tool. People use it in offices and for their businesses and all kinds of things. I use it as a child-led learner. A lot of other homeschoolers use it. But I want to show you how we use it and exactly what it can do for you in that particular area. So I'm going to do a quick review. Again, every month I have indicated, we didn't do a lot in December because we usually take Thanksgiving through New Year's off, but we do have some things there. But as I showed in my other video, and I don't want to be redundant with that video because this one is for a different purpose. But along here, as you can see all along here, for the last 11, 12 months, we have every month has its own notebook. And within those notebooks, let's just look at a month here. This is February 2015. And this is one of the ones that I think that I reviewed in our first video, but it's a really good one. We did some really fun stuff last February. So, but again, every single day I take pictures from my phone. I copy links and I put them in Evernote under that month, under that child's name. So as you can see, it shows all of the learning activities and websites and classes and outings and field trips and books and links and everything that they did. And I have 6 children, by the way, for the month of February. And it just shows you all of that information, okay? I'm not going to click on any of those and go back into that. You can watch the other Unschooling with Evernote video. So after 12 months of doing that, I want to show you what you get at the end of the year, which is magnificent if you're using it like this. But there are many ways to use Evernote, so I don't want you to think like you have to use it exactly like me. I'm just excited to share with you how amazing it has been for our family, especially as life learners, child-led learners, unschoolers, It is very helpful for me, being a very type A anal personality, to be able to see what it is that they're learning. If I'm allowing them to guide their own learning and to take ownership of their own learning, I still wanted to be able to see and have proof, so to speak, of what it was that they were learning on a daily basis. And this solved that for me. And it may solve it for you as well. But Evernote can also be used for project planning and for other things as well. So again, I would suggest that you watch our other Unschooling with Evernote video, and it will show you more about that. But today I'm going to talk about how all of these entries over all these months have culminated into something magnificent and allowed me to really see what it is overall, what a year looks like for each child. Again, I have 6 children, so I am not going to go down the list of every child and every topic. But I have chosen a few children and their particular topics, some of the topics that they're the most passionate about. Now, I'll say this before I move forward. Every single child has their initials and different topics under their name. So you have D here, you have J-A, J-U, N, going all the way down the list of my children. As you can also see, there are numbers next to these, okay? Now, let me back up a little bit. When I am recording my children's learning opportunities or activities or, projects or anything that they're doing, it is impossible as a mother of 6 children to record every single thing that they are doing. So just like when you have a year-end review in states like Florida or other states that require a portfolio review, you don't take every single thing that they are doing that year and hand it to the reviewer. You take the highlights, you take the special projects and things of that nature. So even though I try my hardest to get a picture and a link and, proof of everything that they are doing, it is simply impossible. For instance, I have a daughter that has read close to 20,000 pages this year since May. I was not able to take a picture of every book that she read. I do have a list of every book that she read, though, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. So I just want to let you know this is more of a portfolio proof of their learning, but they do much, 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 much more than what is represented here on Evernote. But the main projects and the things that I can capture, I do. So I wanted to make that clear. Back to what I was talking about. Here you'll see these numbers represented at the end of a topic. So you have reading 25. Well, D, my son, he is 9 years old. He has read more than 25 times in the year 2015. These are just specific books or instances or activities that we did together or that stood out to me that he really learned a lot from, that I wanted to capture via link or picture. Okay, so I wanted to make that clear so that you know that he read more than 25 times. Just like a portfolio, you would have a physical portfolio. This is the same thing. Now, for D, I want to take a look at his science. Okay, so for the entire year of 2015, again, he did much more than this, but I want to highlight the things that I do have in Evernote that stand out. Those things that stand out where the learning was just over the top and I had to capture it and put it in his portfolio. So you have going from November before Thanksgiving all the way back to February, all of the things that he did that we were able to capture that had to do with science. And so you have here, let's see here, because every week I post their things every single week. So David would actually have an entire week's worth of lists and pictures on one particular note within that notebook. And I used to post every single activity separately, but it became a little too much. So as an example, let's see some of the pictures that we have. We have here, he was building a hovercraft with his brothers. There are some other things here, some up above, some documentaries that he watched and some projects that he did. that talks about scientific processes, earth science, weather, things of that nature. But we'll go with some of the pictures now because it makes it a little bit more interesting. But here we went to the Barnes & Noble Maker Faire, and he was able to learn some things and some new concepts, physics and things of that nature. We took a trip to the Grimaldi Chocolate Factory, and so he got to see the actual science of him and all the rest of the children. So what you'll see here, you'll see his actual initials, but you'll see some of the other children's initials because that may have been a group project. So that same thing will fall under science under their name as well. Then there are some things that he did with just himself that will fall under this. So it just kind of shows all of the things that he did. We did models of the earth. We made our own bouncy balls with a bouncy ball kit. We did a leaf scavenger hunt. Let's click on that. And we will pull that. Let's see here. We'll pull that over here so that you can see that a little better. We'll pull that down there. So, and you can see all of the pictures that we took. We did a leaf scavenger hunt, and then we did some leaf projects. So that fell under our earth science. Excuse me. And then we did an entire project on rocks and the different types of rocks. So we investigated that. We watched an earth science video, things of that nature. And so I try to get pictures of every project that has to do with that particular thing that we did. And then I put it in here. And as you can see, every child, because that was a group project, it fell under their initials and science. So you'll find this under their name if I pull up their tags as well. You have here, we're doing microscope work. Television showed that they absolutely enjoyed Thomas Edison's secret lab. Let's see what he's doing here. We watched a couple episodes of Bill Nye the Science Guy, and they did some projects that related to that. So as you can see, you have the human skeleton here. He's watching a space playlist that we created on YouTube there. Let's see. He and his brothers here figured out how to create a conveyor belt out of remote control cars. And so that was a neat project that they just kind of came up with on their own, which is how most of their projects come up with. We did a very short unit study on recycling. We did a family trip to Meyer Garden, which is a beautiful garden in here in the city that we live in, and we got to see a Japanese garden and learn a lot about horticulture and those kinds of things. So that also fell under science. So all of these things are things that have to do with science that this particular child has done this year. Again, he's done much more than this, but these are the things that we were able to capture. Again, it's very hard to capture every single thing that all 6 children do every day because they are all going in 6 different directions and passionate about a lot of different things. Like you see this here, he and his brother actually were programming the robot. So that went under science and math because both of those bodies of knowledge were required to do that, doing volcano experiments. So all kinds of things. That kind of gives you an idea of that particular child in that particular topic. So for the year, I can say, when I'm wrapping up, these are the things that we did a lot of. We didn't do a lot of so-and-so type of science. So maybe I want to throw some opportunities and activities in for 2016 that we did not, maybe we didn't cover in 2015. And again, it would be something that, because we are child-led learners, it would be something that they decided, hey, I want to learn about this. And then I'll gather all of the information and opportunities, possible field trips to be able to explore that particular area. So this shows me more than one thing, what they did do a lot of and what we could use more of. So 2 goals when I review this at the end of the year. Okay, so let's go back to our tags. And I would like to go over to N because she is an absolute reading machine. Now, you would say, excuse me, there's only 32 entries in 2015 for N. Well, that's interesting because among those 32 entries, she has 4 reading lists that include anywhere from 25 to 50 books. And so in between May and December of 2015, she has read over 20,000 pages. And a lot of that is history. She does like fiction, but she likes historical fiction. A lot of it is science. She reads a lot about animals. And so she has a very wide range of information that she enjoys reading about. And so I'm very proud of how her reading has progressed over time. So this just kind of shows me, I can go back and say, what kind of books did she read this year? I have a reading list here at the top, as you can see. And I have more reading lists down here. And if you can see the number over here. This number basically represents the pages of that particular book. Okay. And there's reading lists there. There's more reading lists. But this just basically kind of shows you. She even did a catalog for all the books in her room. So that was a project that she enjoyed. But she is reading constantly. And so I am able to go and look at all of her reading lists and actually decide, okay, I would like her to read more things along this line. Again, I want to go with the things that she's passionate about, so I'll figure out a way to incorporate. She loves history. So how can I incorporate more history into her reading that also may have some science in it, that also may include some math? So I figure out how to take those things that they're passionate about and work in all of those other things. And they don't even really realize that they are learning those other things while they're pursuing things they're passionate about. So this just kind of shows you what her reading has been over the last year. Now let's take another child. Let's see. Let's go over to X. And let's do math. Now, X believes that his quote is, math makes me happy. And so anytime he gets the opportunity to work with numbers and learn something new with math, he is just over the top excited. And so this list basically shows all of the learning that he did that we were able to capture, again, because he can wake up in the morning at 7 o'clock and grab a math workbook that we don't require. But just because he wants to do it, he does it. And I may not be around to capture that. So these are all the things that I have captured. And we've done all kinds of things like our family store, the Williams family store, where they have to purchase. They purchase their toys, they purchase all goodies and all kinds of things just to practice money. We've done a family restaurant where we practice manners, and we practice, also they purchase all of their own food and snacks for the day, just to also practicing money and manners. And so those kinds of things, every time that he did work in a notebook or we did a project that included math. Here we did one that included math in art. We've done projects where we compared math with music and math with sports, math with cooking. Here he is learning about fractions. And then we ordered pizza that day, so that kind of helped with that. Let's see, learning the skip count. Here he is buying his own toys from his sister. She figured out how to charge her brother for their own toys. So all kinds of things that had to do with math and him executing math. So it shows me, okay, what level of math that he's on. It shows me what we need to work on and how can I go about putting activities and opportunities in front of him that will allow him to go to the next level in math. That don't necessarily have to be, okay, a math workbook. Okay, so I wanted to be able to explain to you that we take very unconventional means to be able to expose our children to things that other people may do in a very traditional manner. And Evernote has helped us kind of gain control or put the reins on that, so that we really do know what they're learning, even though we're child-led learners, even though that we spend our time following our children's interest. You can see that we do a lot to harness that, or to figure out how what it is that they're learning and what level they're on in every area. So I'll do one more. Let's see. Let's do T science, because he is an absolute science fanatic. And so this just shows all of the things that he has done. This actually has 72 entries, but trust me, he has done hundreds of scientific activities this year, covering just about every area and type of science that you can think of. And obviously it does go all the way back to February 7th, it looks like, is the first day that we started. So you can see him doing lots and lots of science, what would you call it? Experiments. He is my experiment king. He is doing experiments almost daily, and the little ones just surround him and learn all they can from him. And he loves teaching, so no problem. Big brother's always there to teach. He started taking a class called Natural Disasters through edX.com, and he enjoyed that immensely. And so a lot of these are his own experiments. A lot of them are things that he just did on a whim, on his own. Some are field trips, like this was our field trip to our local nursery, where we learned about plants and the different kinds of plants, and the annuals and perennials, and what type of environment different plants thrive in, and all of that kind of stuff. So that was really good. So all the kids got credit for science for that. And so as you can see, my kitchen counter is always covered in some kind of science experiment. So before you pick up something and eat it, you might want to make sure that it is actually food and not one of his experiments. So we've done all kinds of things. As you can see, that kids capturing rainwater outside and then testing it. We did that same day. We found a nest, so we took a look at that and kind of dismantled it to find out how the nest is built and what it's made of. One of the fun things that we did this year was watching planes and then studying the science of flight. And so we took a little field trip and did some watching of the planes take off and land at the airport. So that was pretty neat to see. So you probably get the gist of it. I just wanted to do this video to help you understand what a year-end review looks like and what I'm looking for. Again, number one, when I go to my tags, I look at every single child. I look at the numbers. I see, okay, D, we are right. I mean, as far as science, it's obvious the science is a major, major thing for him. Reading, he's pretty good with reading. Math, no problem. There may be areas in the area of writing. For this particular child, we need to figure out more opportunities that would be interesting to him to practice writing. And so we're going to work on that. And then, you know, my kindergartner, his numbers are going to be low just because he is still kind of in that learning through play phase. And so I'm not too concerned about his numbers quite yet. And then the other children, it just kind of tells me, again, we're doing excellent in certain areas. And these are all child-led learning activities. Guys, very few of these things have I or my husband initiated. What we do is we provide the environment, we provide the tools and the resources, and we let them fly. And boy, do they fly. I'm telling you. It works, and it is a beautiful thing. After being rigid and traditional for so many years, this is a breath of fresh air to see our children soar in this particular area. So again, it's more of a lifestyle than it is a learning method, but I tell you, Evernote has been a blessing to us, and it has let me see that we are right on track and what we are doing is working well for our children. So wanted to share that with you. Hope that you got something out of it. Hope that you were able to actually see how at the end of a year you can actually pull up a list of every single topic and every single child and see exactly what it is that they accomplished that year without going through a bunch of papers, without one workbook being completed. All of these areas have been covered for each child, and they are learning and growing and flourishing and maturing before our eyes. So just wanted to share that with you. Again, I hope that you got a lot out of it. I would tell you to go back and watch our Unschooling with Evernote video that is also on our YouTube page, because I believe that will be helpful. You'll be able to see how I actually go about posting these daily things. There will be a lot of information on that I did not cover for this video because that wasn't the purpose of it. But one more thing that I wanted to show here, and that is that I wanted to show you that how you can turn these particular things, these particular activities that you see here into a presentation. Now, if you actually have the premium version, which is only $2.99 a month, or $24.99 yes, $2.99 a month, or $24.99 a year. And no, I'm not getting paid to advertise Evernote, but I wanted to tell you that you can, with the premium version, you can go up here to present, up here, and you can turn all of this into a PowerPoint presentation. So you go here, and it turns that particular notebook, this is considered a notebook, April 2015 is a notebook, you can turn that into a PowerPoint presentation. Or you can turn one child's science learning for the year into a PowerPoint presentation, or another child's reading, or another child's math, so that you will be able to literally have a presentation before you of that particular topic, or that particular child, or that particular project. So again, this is how we use this for child-led learning. Many, many uses for Evernote. Hope you have been blessed by this presentation, and I really, really, really hope that you subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful, fantastic, prosperous, and amazing new year. Bye.